This is my consumer-facing brand, which is really a proof of concept. I have patents when you embed sweatband into elastic. So that's called Elastifuse technology. And then I needed a brand to act as a proof of concept for Elastifuse. I entered a branding competition called Brandathon. It's kind of like a hacking competition where top advertising agencies like Ogilvy sent newer assistants and associates to participate in this event. So we got assigned a team of 3 like a copywriter, a creative, and just a strategist who spent 3 days brainstorming and working on our requests. And this was the result, in which we actually won the contest. So I'm really proud of the work they did. You know, I went to them, we already had this logo and the name, and then we went to them and asked them for a website, a summary, a look and a feel for Instagram. So what is Noble Titan? It's apparel and accessories, looking to take the pain points out of active living through innovation and design. From heavy bags hurting shoulders to rubbing briefs irritating skin, Noble Titan creates activewear that makes the consumer feel pampered even while working hard. So here's some of the products. They had suggested price points. We asked them to work on the website, the packaging, the social media, and the deck layout. So this was the request. And here's their approach: define the landscape, pinpoint the ideal launch consumer, rewrite the brand story, define the voice, rebrand the aesthetic, and create a communication rollout. So this is called a competitive landscape. So as far as an activewear brand, they saw Noble Titan as in between lifestyle and performance, and in between accessibility and luxury. So like right in the middle of all those other major brands. So sometimes you'll see other charts like this that talk about price points. So those 4 points I'm talking about, accessibility, lifestyle, luxury, and performance, those could be all different kinds of words depending on your industry. Does that make sense? Okay, the ideal consumer. So we were identifying males and females between 18 and 45. Where do these people live? What do they do? Career driven and likely a side hustler. They have a boutique fitness or gym membership. They're willing to save time, spend money to save time. They're willing to take time to look effortless. And they drink things that are green. The values and priorities: they value education, wellness and fitness, friends and social engagement, art and travel.
Stacey, can you go back to the last slide? I wanted to just take like a little bit of notes on that. So is this like competition?
Yeah, it could be considered the competitive landscape, but they're saying like, where do you compare to the other people in the space? You know, how are you different? What like, are you more function or fashion driven? Are you a higher price point or a lower price point? Like where does your brand live compared to the other competitors?
Thank you.
When we go through the brand strategy presentation, I'm going to show you some other examples of this type of slide. Okay, so brand story, you know, I created Noble Titan with 2 other friends who kind of, you know, we came up with the name and we wanted it to mean strength with like a bigger purpose and a mission. That's where the noble is about, and then Titan is strength. So these creatives, I love this story that they wrote. The ancient Titans, gallant deities who fought through sweat and pain, remain a memory of history's most resilient powers. But today, a breed of Titans live and sweat all around us. For this everyday warrior, persistence is tested on the L train as a 9-to-5 perspirer at Bikram, holding downward dog beside a dripping yogi, and all across the concrete jungle where players push their limits, moving CrossFit to cocktail hour like a boss. What makes these Titans work hard is what keeps them feeling soft, and what makes them look fly is what keeps them staying dry everywhere. Pants down, shirts up, introducing Noble Titans. The brief. So this we actually included in our packaging on a little postcard. We changed it a bit, but Noble Titan is a revolutionary underwear, athletic, and leisure line where high performance meets high design and where a sense of style meets a sense of comfort. Now you can run your errands, run the track, or run the world without the runny issues that come with it. No drippy cracks, sticky straps, or swamp crotch. We toned that part down a bit, but I did think it was good. Definitely gives you a visual there. Noble Life Band, that's what they're calling our Last Diffuse technology. We didn't adopt that, but you know, you get the idea that this was just a brief summary of the brand. Then aesthetically, thought this was really cool that they came up with this, you know, from our logo, these descriptive words. So the voice is keeping it cheeky and strong, seriously witty while wittingly serious. There's a visual vocabulary to Noble Titan. Here's the logos and the typography and the colors, you know, the white, gray, silver, black, and then they recommended this green to be an accent color. The communication, website, Instagram, displays, urban takeovers, and then brand collaborations, experiential marketing, and events. So here's a website design that they suggested, which if you go to Noble Titan's website and you go to Noble Titan's Instagram, you will see that we attempted to make it look as good as they have it drawn out here. We did use their slogan there, touch these Titans. Here's more suggestions on the way the website should be laid out. So our social media strategy, using that as a primary platform for content creation, product shots, lifestyle shots, the logo terms, hashtags. So they have more of an arty thing here than we actually ended up using. Thought this was a great Namaste Dry. I love that slogan. Wait, hold on one sec. Sorry, my dog just destroyed a little a little picture frame. Okay, here's the packaging. More packaging makes no sense. I liked that. Some ideas about urban takeovers, some ideas about retail locations, experiential events, and remember the Titans. These were the people that created this deck. So this isn't a presentation deck. This is a brand strategy deck. So that's why I chose to share it with you today. And we are going to now get into the workshop. So what is a brand? A brand's a set of expectations, memories, stories, and a relationship that lasts, taken together, account for a consumer's decision to choose your product over another. The founder of Amazon, Jeff Bezos, says it even better. Your brand is what other people say about you when you're not in the room. Your brand is your reputation. So brand strategy defines what you stand for, a promise you make, and the personality you convey. While it does include your logo, color palette, slogan, those are only creative elements that convey your brand. Instead, your brand lives in every day-to-day interactions you have with your market, and there are many different ways to interact with that market. So if you want to take a minute to just read this illustration of a brand, you know, that loving relationship with your target audience, you want to keep those competitors at bay. Your target audience has a need and your brand promise is fulfilling that need. Your brand personality is the style in which you deliver that promise. Your brand position or the competitive landscape makes you number one, so your audience resolves their need with you, not the competition. And the competition is a clear and honest brand is a barrier. A clear and honest brand is a barrier to the competition. It helps you simplify, sell, and succeed. So it's kind of like just be authentic, you know, to your genuine voice and mission and what you're setting out to do. And kind of like don't want to say don't worry about the competition, but if you stay true to your authenticity, hopefully that's just rising above it where your audience will find you. So the first step in building a brand is to figure out your target audience in order to speak directly to your customers. So if you remember in that Noble Titan presentation, they talked about male and females between 18 to 45 and, said, who are these people? They value education and fitness and travel and art, and they drink green things. This was a funny description, but when you think about your target audience, you can kind of never get too descriptive. It's an exercise that I do recommend you all go through. Think about that exact customer. What do these customers think? What do they need? Where do they spend their time? What's their behaviors and their lifestyle? The goal is to differentiate from the competition. Convince a customer to purchase from you over them. So what distinguishes your brand from others? Be different. Focus on the biggest benefit for your customers and make a clear statement that highlights that value proposition. So value proposition is a really important piece of the puzzle here. It tells prospects why they should do business with you rather than your competitors, and makes the benefits of your products or services crystal clear from the onset. So like, what makes you unique? What is the biggest benefit that you're offering those customers? That's your value proposition, and it's kind of like what you want to lead with. So here's an example of the iPhone's value proposition. Why there's nothing quite like the iPhone. Every iPhone we've made, and we mean every single one, was built on the same belief that a phone should be more than a collection of features, that above all, a phone should be absolutely simple, beautiful, and magical to use. Here's Uber's. I'll let you guys read it. Okay. So your value prop, tap the app, get a ride. Their value proposition is offering that Uber convenience. Everyone saw that? Okay. And Zoom, flawless video, clear audio, and instant sharing. So these are really tight, concise ways of saying what these companies do and why you would choose to use their services or work with them. Think of them as headlines, like just titles, like boom, boom, boom. And if you can come up with succinct, tight, concise phrases like that, that get it across, like what your company's about or what you're offering, that's a great thing to include and to kind of lead with. Consumers want easy decisions. They don't want to screen 30 alternatives in order to find the right one for them. So brand positioning triggers an emotional response from your target audience, whether that's happening subconsciously or not. Identifying competitors and creating a competitive landscape helps you see how your brand is positioned in the marketplace and helps to inform pricing and sales channels. So here's a chocolate company example. You see where M&Ms and Kit Kat are versus, green and black and the other higher end chocolates. So this competitive landscape is talking about price and quality. They're not talking about like fashion and function. So it's all depending on your industry. If you think about, what belongs on your competitive landscape, it'll be different for each industry. Here's an athletic fashion example. So you see where Supreme is versus Reebok and Umbro and Under Armour. I don't necessarily agree that Under Armour's all the way down there with low price, but okay. All right, we've already explored uncovering the value proposition, what makes you unique, what's the biggest, best benefit you're offering your customers. And this unique benefit can help inform memorable marketing messages like slogans or taglines. So Walmart, save money, live better. That's their tagline. This statement summarizes their lower pricing, and that is most likely top of mind when customers choose to shop there instead of other retailers. The tagline is simple, concise, catchy, and powerful all at the same time. Okay, so can you think of some memorable taglines for these companies? So feel free to turn your mics on and chime in.
Nike was just do it.
Yep. I think everyone knows that one. How about the others?
I think McDonald's was I'm loving it.
Nice.
I know for Duncan, it's America Runs on Duncan.
Nice. Who else can come up with some of these taglines?
I think Lay's was something like you can't have just one.
Yep.
Just one.
Yep, that's it. What else?
There's the one for goldfish. It's like the snack that smiles back.
Oh, cute. Now I'm going to look out for that one. Okay, so you get the point here. Here's what these business taglines are. Bet you can't eat just one with Lay's. America runs on Dunkin'. You guys had that. McDonald's, I'm loving it. Just do it. Apple's think different. L'Oreal, because you're worth it. Toyota, let's go places. Kentucky Fried Chicken is finger licking good. Coca-Cola, I love Coca-Cola, unfortunately, but I don't associate open happiness with their tagline, but apparently that's it. Burger King, have it your way. De Beers, a diamond is forever. Sprite, obey your thirst. So basically, it's your business's mantra. Tells people who you are, what you stand for in a few succinct words. It's a message people can remember. So it should help the audience understand the bigger picture and leave them enticed and wanting more. If you don't have a tagline for your business, I do suggest kind of brainstorming to come up with something. Doesn't mean it has to be the one forever, but it just kind of helps with those titles and headlines in kind of a punchy, catchy way to let the audience know what you're doing. So we all knew the Nike tagline, just do it. But do you know their mission statement? A mission statement is a short statement of why an organization exists, what its overall goal is, identifying the goal of its operations, what kind of product or service it provides, its primary customers or market, and its geographical region of operation. So if your value proposition is why your customers want to work with you, your mission statement is why you want to be offering this service. It's really like, as a company, like from your perspective, what is driving you to bring this to market? So Nike's tagline is just do it, but here's their mission statement. Bring inspiration and innovation to every athlete in the world. If you have a body, you are an athlete. So Nike goes even further with its brand mission by adding the footnote to the statement, if you have a body, you are an athlete. Think about how wide their target audience becomes with a disclaimer like that. The company has built up such a reputation and brand following that it's able to increase the target to accommodate every body. When branding your business, start small and remember to focus on target niche audience first. With time, your brand loyalty may grow enough to expand your reach. Here are some other examples of mission statements. So does anyone want to chime in and read these aloud?
I can read them.
Thanks, Andrea.
For Amazon, it's our vision is to be Earth's most customer-centric company, to build a place where people can come to find and discover anything they might want to buy online. Facebook's is to give people the power to build community and bring the world closer together. Google is to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. And Sony's is to be a company that inspires and fulfills your curiosity.
Okay, so hopefully it's kind of easy for you to figure out what your mission statement is, and it's a succinct way to pull it together, like what your purpose is. So now we've touched on the following aspects of brand strategy: speaking directly to your target audience, brand positioning, understanding the competitive landscape, standing out by focusing on your brand's value proposition, coming up with a strong tagline, and defining the brand's purpose with a succinct mission statement. So that's our solid foundation. And now that you have a foundation to build your brand, share your messaging to get more exposure and grow your sales. So once you feel solid with those pieces in place, then you want to get the word out there. How do you do that? You want a website, you want a Instagram account, Facebook account, YouTube account, your logo, maybe you're sharing articles on Twitter, all different ways that you are pushing your exposure, events. So in order to start making money and get the revenue streams going, you need to get the word out so customers learn about your products. Consistent, memorable messaging will help customers become engaged. The more engaged and passionate your customers are about your company, the more the brand becomes alive. Keep working to create a community of fans who help the brand thrive. All right, so this is a summary of what we just went through, the 7 different aspects of brand strategy. Branding could easily be labeled as an art, the art of building a legacy. You can think of brand strategy as the blueprint for how you spread value in the marketplace and how the world sees your business. In order to successfully build a brand, here is a summary of 7 key factors to keep top of mind. Target audience knowledge, speaking directly to specific customers. Brand positioning, know the landscape, differentiate from the competition. Strong, unique value proposition, focus on the biggest benefit for your customers. Exceptional brand slogan, great taglines are memorable, let the brand personality shine, and entice the customer. The brand's mission, define objective, purpose for existing, find your why. Great exposure, passion, social media channels, influencers, websites, email campaigns, events, engaged fans, media. The brand is alive. Consistency, creates and builds trust within a growing community. So that is the brand strategy workshop. I'm happy to discuss any of it further. Does anyone have any questions or want to share anything?
Hi, I just want to say that me and Jack came in a bit late, so yeah, we're just present for the meeting.
Okay. What are you working on? What's your idea?
So we're the team Spot Me. So is this basically just branding our pitch, or like is it an elevator pitch? Like how do we present this right now?
These are things to consider when building your deck, when making your presentation deck.
Mhm.
You definitely want to identify your customers and speak directly to them. Make sure that you're communicating your value proposition. If you've got a tagline, that's a punchy, good way to kind of, have a title or a headline that explains your business. Knowing your brand mission and having that mission statement is always going to kind of be something you should be able to go back to guide you as to like why you're doing this. Building the exposure and passion in the community, that's a big part of just building the brand and the presence. And some people may already have their stuff going. So maybe you've got thousands of Instagram followers, and that would be something you want to include in your deck, that you've started this. And if you don't, that's okay. This is just an idea that hasn't launched yet. But what's your plan to engage those fans? And what's your go-to-market plan or your marketing plan to get the word out there? And then consistency is just something to keep in mind, that you want to use certain phrases over and over again. Maybe it's a hashtag, that is connected to your tagline or something. It's just you want, like the Dunkin' Donuts, American runs on Dunkin'. We all knew that because we've heard that consistently over the years. So just things to keep in mind to get your brand and your service or whatever you're creating to make it kind of stick in the audience's mind.
Okay. So yeah, right now we don't have a brand slogan, but hold on, let me take this off. Yeah, so right now we don't have a brand slogan, but I guess our target customers would be people who live in different areas that are more populated and have jobs that are in metropolitan areas. So let's say like one of the 5 boroughs.
Mhm.
You
So
live in
urban dwellers.
yeah, urban dwellers or even like suburbs around Westchester where you have to travel into the city.
Okay.
So during that time, their spots are available for a long period of time or if they have to go on business trips. So we're really marketing out to people like that so they can kind of make money themselves and it leaves more availability for parking. So our target audience is basically just regular people as opposed to monopolized industries.
Okay. But it's people that have a driver's license.
Yeah. Mainly, we're targeting people that have driveways, and their driveways are not always in use, and they want to rent out their driveway for the day or for a week or for an extended period of time.
Nice. Okay. So, are you planning to start in a specific? I mean, I'm just thinking of Iona and the campus right there. I can think of some residential streets right by where I usually park that maybe would be a place to start. Is that?
That's a possibility.
Yeah.
So have you identified specific places like,
Yes.
or maybe it's
They-
around City Field, like,
yeah, actually back home where I live back in like Marine Park area, Flatbush area, Bay Ridge area, it's very hard to find parking, but people do have driveways, and most of the time, like you do see empty driveways during the day, and trying to find a spot can be very hard, but there's an empty driveway. It'd be nice to just park in an empty driveway.
okay, so my only suggestion, and I know very little, but just hearing the little that you shared, I'm thinking the more detailed and specific you get, the kind of easier it is to begin. So what's that music place in Queens or where they have outdoor shows? It's a beautiful area.
Not
You
too
know what
sure.
I'm talking about? I can't think of it, but it's New York. It's or City Field. Okay, let's talk about. They have major events there, and when they have major events, parking is definitely in demand, right?
Mhm.
So I would just suggest, specific places, whether it's college campuses or arenas or stadiums or music venues around events where the parking is in demand.
Yeah, we took that into account. We also took like beaches over the summer into account.
Yep.
Because those are normally packed, parking's extremely expensive. Areas around airports where people can avoid paying for substantial fees depending on how long somebody's away from their own home.
Mm-hmm.
We have a couple of ideas for locations that we could place this in, but yeah, we're still working on adding more.
Okay. So I think in general, is everyone familiar with Guy Kowalski's like 10 slide recommendation? Like, have you been given a guideline to follow as far as like problem, solution? Like the presentation.
On the innovation site.
I don't know where. I'm just asking. So you're putting together a presentation deck for the challenge, right?
Mhm.
Have you been given a guideline for that? What the presentation deck should have in it?
Yeah, we have a guideline for it. I know it's on the innovation site. Like right now, we just have a business plan that's already been made. We just, in order to like finish it up, we do have to look at the guideline though. But
Because the guideline, like it should say problem. One page should definitely be the problem. So you've identified a problem like the beaches, during the summer or the
Right.
like, and so maybe if you've got 3 different areas or 3 different targets for, to start. Obviously, this is a big idea that can go big, wider, but to start, you want to identify specific problems. And then here's your solution. So rolling out your go-to-market plan, you can just be more detailed and specific when you know that this summer it's beaches, and then in the fall, you're going to arenas or, the baseball games or whatever it is. The more detailed information you identify, the easier it is to kind of unfold the plan.
Okay. Hold on. Like while we're on this call, I just wanted to kind of pull up our business plan. Just because like normally we take notes and we have a bunch of ideas, but both of us were kind of in a rush and we left them. So 1 second.
Okay, well, they're looking to pull that up. Does anybody else have any questions or comments?
Well, I just thought this was very useful, and it was really nice to have like a breakdown of the important
I'm not gonna
aspects of creating a slide deck.
so we can have like
Good.
some sort of idea.
I'm glad it was helpful.
Yeah, so far like we have a business description, and that describes people, the reason why we're using the app and why we made it, how the app works, what we're implementing into the app, also the different people that can utilize it. We also entered like an industry and marketing analysis. So, because we took into consideration the fact that, icon parking is a thing, and there's also government regulated parking, which is, expensive in itself. So icon being more expensive, the street parking being harder to find. And so we have other stuff too, but that's pretty much what has to do with what we were talking about. I don't know if you wanted me to go more into detail with it.
This is a workshop on brand strategy, and anything you want to share or any questions you want to go over, just, to make the time as useful and helpful as possible, whatever you want to discuss.
Before I ask, do you have anything that you want to ask?
So basically, to market our app, essentially, to the public is we should develop like a really short slogan that will be very catchy to them and that would have their interest.
Well, it's helpful, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're about to create a, Facebook page or an Instagram page or a TikTok page, maybe your TikTok page has all different kinds of funny car videos, of people like trying to squeeze into spots.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to use humor. Maybe you want to keep your brand voice more serious. Maybe you want to appeal to the businessmen and the executives who, just need to get to work on time. So it's really up to you to define your brand voice and personality and then figure it out from there.
Okay.
But once you figure out that brand voice and personality, you want to keep the messaging consistent, so the name of your company is what?
Spot.
Spot
Me.
Spot Me.
Yeah.
Spot Me. Okay. So, and you haven't come up with a tagline yet.
So we kind of have your like short slogan, or the problem that we were solving was making dead space profitable.
Okay.
So
Making dead space profitable. Okay. So then you're really identifying the person who's offering up their driveway, right?
yes.
And I don't know that, and again, like, so listen, I'm hearing everything really quick, and just because I'm sharing some thoughts doesn't mean that you have to change that. When you have a business idea and you share it with the world, you're going to hear a lot of different opinions from a lot of different people. But you two are the founders. This is your baby, and you can take it in the direction that feels right for you guys. But for me, as someone who's just hearing this for the first time, when you refer to dead space, and I own a driveway, I don't think of that as dead space. And if I'm somebody who wants to park my car in a convenient location, again, I'm not thinking of that. I'm not thinking of that word dead space. I don't know that that's the right adjective. I think maybe you want to focus on convenience. And I would assume you're offering this driveway space for less than I would pay at a garage.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
so your value proposition, what is it you say your benefit for the customers, whether that's the person renting out their driveway or the person who's taking that spot? What do you say your biggest value proposition is you're offering?
The biggest value proposition is really convenience and
Affordability.
yeah, and affordability.
Okay,
Good.
so then I would focus on those two adjectives for something connected to your tagline. Or,
Okay.
or it doesn't have to be those exact words, but that meaning, you know, like spot me, the affordable, the convenient, affordable solution to, you know, finding a spot. Like, that might be too long or not as catchy and punchy and fun. But
Yeah, but like we get the point. It's like it's just better than saying dead space, basically.
yeah, I mean, you know, and hey, maybe that's a phrase that does work in some other place in your deck. I just don't know that should be connected to a tagline.
Understood. Yeah, that's all we got for now.
Okay. Well, good luck. It's a great idea.
Thank you.
And I've thought about it driving around when you do see, you know, when you are in a residential area. What am I thinking of Forest Hills? Do you guys, is that where there's a stadium with music?
In Queens,
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit more north.
I'm pretty sure that there's like a music venue there though. I saw two different shows there, and I remember driving around, and parking was a real pain, but there were these beautiful homes with lots of driveway space.
Yeah.
I'll say for sure that as someone who lives in Brooklyn, I would love an app like that. So it's really hard to find parking around here. I think especially after 9/11, when everyone started kind of like moving in to Brooklyn and Queens more. So yeah, I would appreciate something like that.
Yeah, and I use Spot Hero pretty regularly. I used to live in the city, but now I'm out in the burbs, the country, and when I go back into the city and go to Brooklyn, I use Spot Hero. You guys familiar with that app?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
we
one of the
looked at it.
competitors, but the only difference is that it doesn't connect you to
Driveways.
Yeah,
There's no
driveways.
driveways. on them.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
like
and if you're telling me, I know how I'm saving great money using Spot Hero, but if you're telling me I could save even more money parking in someone's driveway, great.
Yeah.
I would use it too.
And if I could add, sorry, I don't know if you guys have considered this, but the safety aspect of parking in someone's drive-through versus on the street, that's a huge thing.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
your car is definitely less likely to be broken into.
yeah. We also implemented like a background check on the person that's renting out their spot, just so they're not like some psychopath. So yeah, we made sure that we also added that in just to kind of have safeguards. And in addition to that, we also implemented a towing program just in case, you know, someone doesn't leave after a certain amount of time. Let's say like hours pass and they get numerous notifications and the person still hasn't gone, then, you know, at that point that would happen. So we've taken different safeguards and added that to our business plan.
That's a great idea. I'm excited for you guys.
Thank you.
Do you have so this presentation is more about the idea and the outline and that deck, but I'm just curious, like, do you have access to the technology needed? Like, do you have
I do know one person that makes applications and websites. How to like set up payment through the apps and everything. I really didn't ask him if he knew how to do that yet.
Okay, well, those are stages you can get to. You start with the idea and the blueprint in this deck, and it's awesome. So you just keep going, one little step at a time.